Over the last 25 years, Rick Steves has produced 150 episodes of his travel program called Rick Steves Europe. The show, which airs nationwide on public TV, takes viewers to every corner of Europe, always with Steves as the cheerful and enthusiastic host. This weekend, Rick Steves will be in Maine, hosting a program with the Portland Symphony Pops. It's billed as a symphonic journey, one that combines travel cinema with stirring romantic-era compositions. And you might be surprised to learn that Rick Steves is no dilettante. He really knows his music.
Well, yeah, the first time I went to Europe was to visit the piano factories in Germany because my dad, who was a piano tuner, started importing pianos from Europe to Seattle. And I paid for all my first trips by being a piano teacher. My kids wouldn't practice in the summer, so I thought, I'm not going to mess with it. I'm going to Europe. I'll see you in September. And ever since then, I've just been doing the same thing. I've been teaching people how to travel in Europe. And I get to come to Portland and host a symphony with your local symphony, and I get to be the tour guide.
I want to give people a sense of just how legitimate your piano and other instrumental chops are. So I'm just going to rattle off a few statements. You tell me if any of them is incorrect. You play the piano, you play the trumpet, you play the sousaphone, you play the bongos.
I play the congas in my church, and that's really fun for me now.
You have summed it up in a nice pithy way by saying that basically in your entire adult life, you've had two jobs. You were a piano teacher, and then you became a travel teacher.
That's right. Yep. My passion as a tour guide and a travel teacher is to remind people the more understanding, Rob, that you bring to your sightseeing, the more you get out of it. Climbing the ruins in Greece, or it could be going to a concert hall in Maine, listening to great classical music to understand the context. We go, oh, I get it. That is even more fun, you see. And that's what I get to do.
A couple of years ago, I read an interview with you, saw an interview with you in which you said that you are really not well traveled in the United States. Is that still true?
That's very true, yeah. I've spent a third of my adult life living out of a 9 by 22 by 14 inch carry-on the airplane-sized suitcase overseas. If somebody tells me they've traveled a lot, I say, where you been? Well, we went to Orlando, went to Cancun, went to Vegas, went to Mazatlan, went to Disneyland. I think, well, okay, nothing wrong with that, but you've got a pretty low bar there. Why don't you try something a little bit out of your comfort zone? Portugal, for example, it won't bite you. And then if you don't like that, you can go back to Disney World. But for me, I want to inspire Americans to get out. As I like to say, our mission is to equip and inspire Americans to venture beyond Orlando. I think the world would be a better place, and we'd be in a better situation if we Americans traveled a little bit and had a little better understanding about how the best way to navigate the challenges confronting us in the future is not to build walls, but to build bridges and to connect and to celebrate the diversity on this planet. And then when we go home, we've got kind of a dual citizenship, a better appreciation of our global citizenship and a keener appreciation of how great it is to live right here.
Let me be provincial for just one moment. Have you ever been to Maine before?
I came to Maine probably 10 years ago, working on drug policy reform. And we wanted to realize that, hey, the best way to handle marijuana is to take the crime out of the equation and legalize it and regulate it and tax it. And that's what we did.
Your passion for Europe began in 1973. You spent 10 weeks backpacking around the continent. And your total budget, and I've seen the photo of it, of the entry that you made in your journal, your total budget, 10 weeks of travel in Europe, $763.
Yep, including the air and a Eurail pass that gave me unlimited train travel. That was Europe. That was back when Arthur Fromer wrote Europe on $5 a day, and we did it in less than that. Of course, it's a lot more expensive now. But the essence of travel that I was so inspired by and learned so much from in my early backpacker days, it's still there today, and that's what I love to teach.
Rick Steves is hosting 2 performances with the Portland Symphony Orchestra Pops this weekend, one on Saturday evening, the other Sunday afternoon. They're both at Merrill Auditorium, and tickets are still available.